In this last piece, I'm going to try to tell something that's really awfully, really hard to explain. It's a very difficult thing in it that I'm not sure. The Sund of me transportation grafeend, was het luft me. Before me lay a wasteland, a great ruling country without trees, just bushes and scrub. I set out toward grey, distant hills. For an hour or so, walking was uneventful. A few birds flew overhead, and I heard rustlings of small animals in the bushes and scrub. But soon the ground became more difficult. It was pockmarked with holes, and I had to take care to avoid them. The holes became wider and deeper. Now I had to go around them, and where before there was risk a sprained ankle, now danger as broke bone or worse. Around now seemed Luna, or more old and ground, and came more difficult far round. As I came all eaten why I could sit way round. He looked over and but autumn us and shad. It was curiously dark overhead, and I couldn't see across the get crumb, for I could pull get da way fa say mo ra oh. I came to at the foot of a cliff. I suppose the one down which I had fallen. No bones were broken, just aches and a throbbing head. The cliff was a sheer drop. I could see no way back up. So I turned around and walked across the bottom of the hole. On the other side, a very white column of rock rose up. As I headed toward the column, I saw what looked like crude steps carved into the rock. Sitting on the bottom step was a very short, very broad man, wearing deerskin leggings and jacket. His hair was long and dangled, and he had a bushy, untrimmed beard. Hello, I fell down that cliff back there. Is this a good way to climb out of here? Yes, it is. Gok, you cannot carry. You have not cake. Pay? What do you mean? Do you want money to let me co-pay you? No money. Gok, you have too much baggage. Liken your load here. Baggage? I carry nothing. What do you want? My boots? I raise my wood to show my boot. The laces must have been loosened in the wall, for the boot fell off my foot. I need my boot to protect my feet. I'm hurt from the fall. I won't hurt my body anymore. No gookie. You're kulakak who your gutty. You who give me cart of your gutty. My body there gripped me and I jumped forward and tried to squeeze by him. Unbudging, he grabbed my ankle and raised my bare foot to his mouth. I fell on my pack as he took my toes into his mouth and bit. Oh! Intense pain made me desperately yank my wood from his grasp. The two smallest toes were cut. I jaggedly stood, looked down at my bleeding wood, and then at the savage as he moved away from the steads. Oh, now, you have paid. My hicker back grabber awake you again. My maimed foot left bloody prints as I started up the steps. I kept looking at him, wanting to ask him why he bit me, as well as watching for a sign of another attack. He never moved. Should I attack him? Maybe I should just get away. I slowly climbed those steps, which zigzagged up the column, until I came to a wide ledge. I took grim satisfaction at getting away from the madman below and overcoming the pain in my foot. I rounded a corner and saw an old woman standing beside a vine which grew up the rock. She raised her arms, saw the gray sleeves of her robe covered her face. She lowered her blue sleeves, and it was clear that she was much younger. She stretched an arm toward me. The brown sleeve flapped in the wind. I stepped toward her. Her broad face was close to mine. I shook my head in confusion. You want to judge my shine? Yes, I have to climb out of this pit. I feel in it, and a crazy man below bit my toes. You make my treasure. He chose what he had to. I take what I must choose. Don't take anything from me. I need all I have to survive. The burning eyes in her narrow face stared into mine. Your eyes distract you. How can you silence your way when your senses take your attention away from it? No, don't take my sight. You'll kill me. It seemed as though the sun suddenly sunk. I could barely see. The vine was put into my hand. I don't know how, but I pulled myself up. Eventually, I came to another ledge. I could see just a little, dimly white or black shadow. I shouldn't have had the strength to climb the banks. I felt very angry, which gave me energy. What right did these crazy people have to do these things to me? I remembered the savages' words about brothers and sisters. Are there more? I grew afraid. and start climbing. I was near another ledge. I barely saw a face look over the ledge, and then an extended arm. Should I take it? I began to tremble and started to lose my grip on the vine. My hand reached up and was grasped. I was pulled to the ledge. Thanks, I almost fell. I looked with hope at my rescuer. He was tall and thin, and he wore a black suit. You shouldn't send me. I too, says my Trace. Trace, you're one of the brothers. What's wrong with you people? Why can't you leave me alone? He tried to wake Piston, but he somehow stood in front of me. I tried to push him away, but he simply turned aside and my hand pushed air. I couldn't strike him either. What do you want then? Your emotions stretch you too tightly. I shall release you also. He reached his hand forward, and it sank into the middle of my chest. My heart felt as if it were turning to us, whose hand withdrew. He gestured behind him to a path hidden up from the lodge, and then walked away. He felt neither fear nor anger, nor did a full hope or anticipation. My emotions were gone. It seemed as if half my life were taken from me. But it seemed best to continue. So I went up the path. It zigzagged a few times across the face of the rock, but eventually answered at the mouth of a cave. A ruin wearing armor and shunning a sword spudged at the initials. All the others have taken something from me. Just Almort woman probably would too. I suppose you want something from me? I do indeed. I must take your thoughts. They weigh you down. She reached Calzone. If you take my thoughts, I will have nothing left. I will be nothing. You will say something. You will say yourself. The sword came down on my head. I felt a flash without pain. Into head, through walls of beyond, through passages upward, darkness, walking upward, yard ahead, out of Jacquet. A great board perches on a boulder. You have almost reached the end. You must build one last thing. Your filth. Standing, wiping. The board is black. Its wings spread. After this, you will be free. I will fly you back. Claws grasp shoulders. Wings flap, lifting, flying, ground below, sky rushing, ground falling, into sky, sky all around, sky, 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 zaja, zada, 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 ba, wa, I can't explain what happened. There aren't any words to explain it. It's impossible to say.